Good afternoon. Welcome to episode 37 of the Country Bumpkin Creates podcast. My name is Lucy. I am coming to you from an actually bright and sunny Tavistock on the outskirts of Dartmoor. I apologise if there's any background noise because it's sunny. The boys are out mowing like crazy. For those of you who don't know, for those of you who are new here, welcome. Hello and welcome to the Madhouse. Welcome back to any returning viewers. For those of you who are we handsome. For those of you who are new to the podcast, I live on a holiday park here in Tavistock. So when I say the boys are mowing, they're busy mowing all of the camping area and holiday let area and stuff. But Kifo is mowing literally in the field next door to me, so you may hear some residual, what's a big word, noise. How are we all? It's been a little while. It's been a couple of months, I think, since my last confession. I don't know, life just sort of got in the way, really. I think it was like beginning of February that I came to you last. Sorry, I've got itchy eyeball. Itchy highball. What have I been doing since then? What have we done? We've been working a lot. A lot of people were off sick throughout February and March, so it was all a bit. So I think in March I did like double my usual hours and a bit more, so I just seemed to be in work like every day. But I wasn't in work every day, but that's what it felt like. So that's eased off a little bit this month. I'm on a week off this week because it was my birthday yesterday. I was 24 times 2. Yeah, had a lovely day, didn't do a lot, spent most of the day sort of chilling and relaxing. Nigel was working, and then we went out for a lovely meal last night. There's a new restaurant opened in town called 76, and it does like Asian food, so we thought we'd give that a try. It's like a sister restaurant to 2 others that are in Tabby, and we know the food's really good at those 2, so we knew that, you know, it was worth trying. And it was bloody handsome. We had, what do we have? Started off with a cocktail. So we had a porn star cocktail. I did. Nigel had a beer. We had beef brisket bao buns, and then we had duck and plum bao buns, which were absolutely delicious. Then we had dirty prawn toast. I don't know what was dirty about it, but it was bloody handsome. And so we had all this to share. It comes out on like little plates. Then we had a katsu curry with some rice, some like fried rice, and that was most delicious. So yeah, came home full as an egg. 2 cocktails. Nearly fell over taking my boots off when I came home. When I bent down to take my boots off, nearly tippled forward, but I didn't. I saved myself. So I don't know whether that's getting old or having 2 cocktails when I probably haven't had a drink since Christmas. Might have had something to do with it. I don't really drink a lot, so when I do, it goes straight to my head. So tomorrow night we are having, so we've got 2 sets of wardens that work on the park, so they live here throughout the season, and then they go off during the winter. So we are having a Chinese with them tomorrow night to carry on the birthday celebrations. Because, you know, you have a birthday week, don't you? You don't have a birthday day. So, yeah. So, going back to my original. So, been working lots. We went to Unravel. We went, me, Soph, and Rach went up completely. Sorry, Rach. Maybe it is getting old. Brain fog is real, people. Yeah, so we went up and back on the train on the same day. It was really lovely, actually. Lots of giggles. It was a long day. I left home at like 6:15 in the morning, so that meant I was up at like 5:30. So left at 6:15, and I think I got home at like 9 o'clock. So it was a long day, but it was so worth it. It's a really good show, that one. I do like it. It would be better. The venue's not fantastic because it's lots of like there's like a cellar, so there's stalls down there. You've got a big hall where there's stalls, and then upstairs there's like lots of like little rooms, so it is a bit higgledy-piggledy, but there's some really nice vendors. Should we have a quick look at what we bought? Yeah, shall we? I was going to do it at the end, but I think we might do it now. There were some new to me vendors. Oh, I didn't buy this. This is Spectrum. I've put the overhead light on because it was a bit dark. But, oh, that's a bit of thread. I thought it was a dead spider on the floor. It was a bit of thread. Let me turn the light off and see if that's better. Oh yeah, that's better. Stuff's not blowing out now. So, I do the Spectrum Tropics Club every month, so I opted for 3 mini skeins a month, and this was Hawaiian Hibiscus. I think this was February. Yeah, February's. So I didn't get that at the show. Oh, sorry. Toft were vending, so I got the kit to do the Highland Coo. I love Highland cows. I think they are adorable. So I got the yarn to do that, and because I was buying a kit, I haven't got a picture of the cow, unfortunately, because it's not in the book. No, it's not in the book. But because I was buying a kit, I got the book free. So and I know we're going to Wonderwall next week, which I'll talk about again. I'll talk about a bit more in a minute. And I know Toft are vending there, so I might get some more yarn to do. So this is the Toft sheeps. So there's 18 sheepsies in here. And they are absolutely adorable. I'm just trying to find which one it is I wanted to do. This is Seth. Rachel's little one is called Seth. So, but he's not the one. Oh, which one did I want to do? The Jacob, I think it was. So this is, my nephew is called Jacob. So I might have to do the Jacob sheep. So I might get the yarn to do the Jacob when we're at Wonderwall. So that was one purchase. This was a new to me dyer called Ara and Stella. She was in one of the little rooms upstairs. So this is her 8515 base. Luxe sock. It hasn't got a colourway name, but it is blowing out a bit. It's like a pink with peaches and little bits of like yellow. There's some yellow there and some more there. It's blowing out a bit. It's not that like fluorescent. So yeah, and she was really sweet, really lovely lady, and you can get a free sock pattern. So she's arastellaknit.com. Yeah, so that was really sweet. And then this, I couldn't resist this. This is like, if you cut me in half, this would be like a stick of rock. This would be the colours that I'd be inside. Again, it's blowing out. It's not turquoise. It's mint with this bright pink. And this was from Cool Woolings. and it's called, is it spearmint or peppermint, and that pink. So I'm going to crank these into a tube on my sock machine. I have a vintage Imperia sock machine, and again, this is an 8515 base. It's really squishy, 8515. So, as you can see, I am wearing, I finished my Mild Magic sweater, and on the last episode, when I was still knitting it, I talked about doing one that was greys with like a pop of colour down the front. So I did get some greys. I'm going to need more, I think. So I got 3 from Dan at Boner Yarns. So this one is Pop It In Pete, said the actress to the bishop. This one is Hunter. This one is Stormy Weather. And then he was next door to Ted, the lovely Ted, from Ted Knits. So I got like a real silver from Ted called Frost Fangs. I don't know what that's in reference to, whether it's something in nature or something in like Game of Thrones or something like that. You can tell I don't watch Game of Thrones. So apologies if it is from that. And then, I got this beautiful basket. So the lady, what they called, Injibolo. Yeah, something like that. I love her baskets, and I bought one last time. There you go. God, what's in there? I bought this. I don't know what. Nigel's put this weights. It's like baby dumbbells at the bottom. I was like, I picked it up. I was like, there's only yarn in there. It can't be that heavy, but no, there is heavy stuff in the bottom. So this one I bought at Unravel last year. I just love the shape of this one. So, and then this time she had these like rectangular ones. I might take this to Wonderwall actually. With this beautiful pink and like dark pink stripe to it. But they're like a fair trade cooperative. I think they're from Africa. I'm sure they are. I've got the information, it's in my purse. Yeah, so I got one of those beautiful baskets. Yeah, I haven't got the label in here, no. And then obviously my darlings John and Claire were vending from Bird Street Yarn. So this is Bird Street. As you know, I love the Musselburgh hat, and I did a blue, like a bluey nep one in there, willow, no, like a words, green. It was green, it wasn't blue. It was like a minty green, but on their nep base. I haven't got any of it left, I don't think. No. Anyway, you know what I mean. So, which I donated to them as like a shop sample. So I picked up another skein of this for Head Over Heels. This one is, and this again is a nap, which I love a Musselburgh hat. I like having one on the needles because they're ideal. I might cast that on to take with me to Wonderwall so I can walk around knitting it, because I bought one of those yarn spinny things ages ago that I haven't used yet. So I might wind this up to take to Wonderwall. So this is for Head Over Heels on their nep 4-ply, which is 75% extra fine merino, so it's like really lush. 15% nylon, 10% Donegal nep. So I might knit that up for Nigel as a Musselburgh, because he does. I knit him one in another of Claire and John's yarn ages ago. And he does wear it a lot in the winter. And then as payment, so I gifted Claire her penguino while we were there, and every time we saw her she had it on, so that like fills my heart that she loves it. I, in payment for knitting the penguino, I got the 3 of the new Doctor Who inspired colourways, which I also helped name, which was very honoured to be able to help name it. So this is the Hopper. So these are all on the 75-25 base. Yeah, beautiful, like blues and purples. Some speckles in there. It's absolutely gorgeous. Then this one is the Optimist, so it's like a paler version of one. And then this one is my absolute favourite. This is the Dreamer, and it's got this bright green and pinks and purples and blues. I think John like really went out of his comfort zone with this, but John, you need to go out your comfort zone more, because it is bloody lovely. I absolutely adore it. And if you look on John's, so he is Mr. B _ Bird Street Yarn. Sorry if it earthquake. Yeah, so there's his Instagram, Mr. B Bird Street Yarn, and Claire is Claire _ Bird Street Yarn. So if you look on their Instagrams, go back a little while. I can't remember when these were brought out. I think at the beginning of the year. So go back and have a look, and you'll see the inspiration picture for these. So it was the new, based on the new Doctor, is Cutie Gatwa. I can't wait for the new series to start. He's going to be amazing. And also on the Unravel Day, Rach gifted us these really sweet stitch markers. You'll have seen some of these before on knitting projects of mine. But Rach is getting into her resin, doing resin art. And this one's got sparkles in it. So it's a glittery resin. And they're all on these circle clasps for stitch markers. So this is so we got like a big one, and then these, so you can see the size difference. But because they're resin, they're so light. So Rach, people want to buy them, so put them on your Etsy shop, please. If you know, you know. Yeah, so Rach gifted us a set of those. And also, talking of gifts from Rachel, for my birthday. So Rach and I met for lunch on Tuesday. Unfortunately, Soph couldn't make it. I'm just going to swivel you around a bit. That's better. You see all my junk piled up. This is clothes in here that I need to list on Vinted or something. I'd like you to meet Marjorie. So Marjorie is an emotional support chicken. I'm sure you've seen them. They're like the latest craze. So this is Marjorie. She is an emotional support chicken, and the pattern is really weird because I met Rach on Tuesday. Monday I was like, I really don't know. I want to knit on something, but nothing that I had on the needles already was doing it for me. You know, we get those times, don't we? So I was like, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to cast on a chicken. So I started one on Monday afternoon. How weird is that? And then I get to lunch on Tuesday, and Rach has made me one for my birthday. I'm very honoured. Thanks, Rach. So she's called Marjorie. Rach knit her using 3 strands of yarn held together because the pattern's written for worsted weight. But when I show you mine, I'm only holding 2 strands together, so mine's going to be a little bit smaller. So this is going to be large Marge, and I think my one is going to be Dainty Daphne. But I just love her. I think she's so cute, and they are so squishy and cuddly and lovely. So I went to see my sister on the way home after having lunch with Rach, and I showed her Marjorie. So my sister now wants one. So I think everybody's going to be getting chickens for Christmas and birthdays and stuff this year. But I just love her. I think she's so cute. So the pattern is the emotional support chicken. There is also a crochet version now available. It is done by the Knitting Tree LA. Yeah. So they do kits, but I'm doing mine scrapping. I'm using my leftovers from knitting this. Rach has used leftovers of this. I think she said this was like a DK held with a finger in. There's a bit of boucle in there. I think it's a James Makes Yarn boucle, or it might be a Spectrum boucle. I can't remember. Yeah. And she's like me in chicken form because she's all my favourite colours. Bit of mint green up there. And on her bum, pink and mint green. She's lovely. So that's large Marge. I hope you don't mind me calling her that, Rach. I think Rachel named, or I think Seth named her Marjorie. And Rachel was like, you change her name. I was like, no, she's staying as a Marjorie. So there we are. Is that everything? Oh, also for my birthday, I got a new sewing machine. It's still Janome, but it's a bit posher than the one I had. It's like the next level up from what I had, but mine, I think Nigel and I worked out, I've probably had mine like 10 years and it's getting a bit clunky now, and obviously technology moves on. And I bought a 1/4 inch foot for it because when you do patchwork and quilting, you use a 1/4 inch seam. But mine, on my other one, it was always on the scrunts and my seams were always off. So I stopped using the 1/4 inch foot, but on this new one, perfect. Which you will see because I have been quilting up a storm in the last couple of weeks. It just clicked like that and I was like, I'm on it. I did it. So yeah. But this one's quite posh. It's got a thread cutter on it and stuff. So I don't have to pull out loads of thread to cut off. It cuts it on like the sewing machine bed, so you don't get all those ends. Yeah, it's got loads of different stitch patterns. I can do alphabets on it and all that sort of stuff. I've done a couple of days of like sewing on it, and oh, I'm in love. I'm in love. I'm one of those weird sewers. It's got a stop button on it, so I use that rather than a foot pedal, which people at Quilt Group can't get their head around. But I think once you get used to using it, then yeah. So, oh, we also had a flock at the end of February. Was it February? Yeah, February. It was amazing to see everybody again. It was really nice. Catch up with lots of people. No, it wasn't the end of February. It was the end of March. Yeah. Oh, Christ, I don't know what day it is, let alone what month we're in. Was it? I can't check on my calendar because I'm recording on my phone. I think it was the end of March, not the end of February. End of February was Unravel. End of March was Flock. Yeah. So, yeah, we had a lovely time at Flock. It was really nice, actually. Lovely day. Always enjoy Flock. So Claire and John vend, obviously, and so if you're around the Bristol area or West Country area, mind you, people we travel up from like darkest Devon. Rachel's mother-in-law comes from Wales, so Bristol's quite handy for, you know, because a lot of motorways come join at Bristol. So I've lost the plot. So yeah, we had Flock. So yeah, Claire and John vend. So keep an eye on Claire and John's Instagram, because the next one I think is June, and John will put out like when tickets are available, etc. So it's like a small fee, like £5, just to cover like the cost of the hall. It's in Crochet Village, which is really easy. It's literally just off the M32. It's like the first junction off the M32, which is like the first junction off the where the M4 or M5 meet. And the one from, is it the M4 comes from Wales? Yeah, where the M5 up from Exeter, and the M4 comes from Wales. So it's where they meet. Yeah, so it's really easy, really easy. So Claire and John were there, and Rachel from Cat and Sparrow was vending, and the next time shenanigans are going to happen, you know it. The lovely James Makes Yarn is vending along with John and Claire. And last time he vended, we were very naughty, but we had lots of fun. Yeah, so that was that. Stats and goals. So I'm sure I haven't seen you since the beginning of February. So February goals. Didn't do very well with February. I don't know what happened in February, but it all went a bit Pete Tong in February. So my goals were socks from a tube, which didn't get done. I did a gnome. I've got a feeling I've showed you all this. Yeah, I have. So ignore that. Yeah. So February, I'm not sure I showed you my February stats. So we went hard on the yarn buying in February. So we did 6,555 meters in, and I had 3,900, I can't read backwards, 3,912.75 meters out. And I finished the Penguino for Claire, the Musselburgh that I gifted to Claire, and the Nola gnome. Did I show you her? I'm sure I showed you her. So my March goals were to finish my Mild Magic, complete. Nando gnome, I'll show you him in a minute. 2 pairs of socks from a tube, only managed 1. I did 4 Scrappiness as Happiness quilt blocks, 4 Socialites blocks, and I started the Dawn sweater, which is a sample knit for a yarn dyer, which I'll show you in a moment. And I completed all of those, except I only did 1 pair of socks. So I'm going to aim to get 2 done this month, and then I'll be caught up with my 1 pair a month. So my March stats were, again, we had Flock. So I did buy some yarn. I was very good. I only bought 2 skeins of yarn. I bought 1 skein of the, I think I've left it out in the living room. But 1 skein of the ice dyed yarn and 1 skein to go with it. So I was going to like stripe it or colour work it or something. And then they brought out the bargain box. So that plan went tits up, didn't it? I ended up buying another 6 or 8 skeins of yarn. That had to be done though, didn't it? Finally. So see, it's worth coming to Flock because you get bargains. Yeah, had to be done. So meters in was 3,649, and meters out was 3,715.86. And I completed 3 projects. So I finished my Mild Magic, I finished my 1 pair of socks, and I finished the gnome, which I'm going to do finished objects in a moment when we'll talk about them properly. So my goals for this month so far are finish the Radvent cowl, which I started last month, finish the Dawn sweater, 2 pairs of socks from Tubes, the mystery gnome. So today, hopefully by the time this podcast is finished recording, I will have the first clue. So Imagine Landscapes, who are the gnome designers, she's doing a mystery gnome this month. So it starts tomorrow. No, it doesn't. It starts today. Not tomorrow, today. So I'm waiting for the first clue to drop. So that's going to be the gnome for this month. But I won't finish it this month because the final clue is like the first week of May. How are we in May already? That's bloody scary, isn't it? So I think there's like 5 clues over the next. So there's like clue tomorrow, one Saturday, one next Tuesday, one Friday. So, and then the final one is like the week after that. So it's like 2 weeks time. So I won't get the mystery gnome finished this month. But what I will do is next month I'll make another one. So I'll still be on track for one a month. 2 pairs of socks from Sock Tubes, Mystery Gnome, and finish my Scrappiness is Happiness blocks, which I have actually achieved, which I will show you. I'm going to do patchwork at the end, so if people aren't interested in it, then they can. And so far I have no finished objects, and I've only had 249 meters of yarn in, but that's all going to change next week when we go to Wonderwall. So on Friday, we are all heading up. We've booked a Airbnb house for the weekend, so Rach is driving. Thank you, Rach, much appreciated. So Nigel's going to drop me over. We'll pick up Soph, head to Rachel's because they're like 10 minutes apart, or thereabouts. And then we're meeting Imogen at Cribbs Causeway because she can get the bus to Cribbs Causeway quite easily. So we'll pick her up at Cribbs and then head to Wales. We're staying just on the outskirts of Brecon, I think it is, in a lovely house. So we'll be there Friday afternoon, heading to Wonderwall, not Wonderwall. Wonderwall was an Oasis song. Wonderwall on Saturday. So if you're going to be there and you see me, come say hi. I do like a good hug, so please come and say hello. And then so then we'll head back to the house Saturday. What is wrong with me today? So we'll head back on Saturday evening to the house, and then Sunday we'll make our way home. We're not intending to go back to the show on Sunday, unless there's anything desperately that we didn't see that we want to see, or we want to go, like, regret not buying and we want to go back. But looking forward to seeing Claire and John. Give them a big hug. They've had a shit couple of weeks with family stuff going on. So sending you all my love, which you know. Yes, so looking forward to giving them a big hug. And Kelly from Lay Family Yard, give her a big hug too. So it's been so long since I've seen Kelly. So need to give her a big hug. Looking forward to that. Not quite sure if there's anyone else that I need to go through the vendor list and see who else really looking forward to seeing that I've not seen before or something. That'd be quite nice. Oh, I know what I was going to say. When we went to Unravel, we heard that quite a few of the vendors had things stolen off their stalls. That's just not on, people. It's just, these are small business. They're not a big chain store that can write off a loss of £50–60. I know one store had £100 like set of needles stolen. And that's a lot of money. That you've got to sell a lot to make up for that loss. So just please, I know times are tough for people. I understand that. I do. But stealing's not the answer. So just please don't do it. Not that I'm not casting nasturtiums on anyone, but it's just shit, isn't it? It's just shit. It's people. You're stealing from people who are trying to earn a living. And, you know, I work for Tesco, who are a massive, massive company, you know, earning billions every year. But even when somebody steals from our store, which happens more than you think, it's just like, it, you know, it hurts. And that's a big chain. But when you're stealing from, you know, a small, very small business who are struggling to make ends meet, possibly themselves, it's just not on, people. Anyway, that's today's lecture over and done with. I'm going to pause now because I'm running out of room, so I need to stop and transfer some stuff, and then I'll be back. We'll be back after this break for FOs and whips. See you in a minute. Right, I'm back. I've put the light back on because it went a bit dark as a cow's Mary. I think the sun's gone behind the clouds or something. What we're going to do? Oh, FOs. I finished it, guys. If you follow me on Instagram, you will have seen that when I was at Flock, John did some fantastic pictures. I'm trying to, like, which are on my Instagram. If I remember, I'll try and insert a couple here. So he took some really lovely photos of both me. Rachel had hers on as well, so we always get pictures if we're wearing the same thing. We'll get a picture together, which is quite often we're wearing the same thing because I tend to copy what Rach does. So this is the Mild Magic Sweater by Stephen West. So you start with this mesh panel first, and then it's all like modular, so hence all the different, or is it that? No, you start with that mesh panel there, and then seed stitch. I hate seed stitch. I like the way it looks, but I just hate knitting it, and there was like quite a bit of seed stitch in this. Yeah, so there's some brioche, there's mesh, this is brioche. Is that brioche? Yeah, so this is the brioche. It's all one colour brioche. So these were all random skeins of yarn, some leftovers. I couldn't tell you. If I get my journal, I will show you. So I wrote all my list, and then I added extra ones in, so they're down here. So it was a total of 3,326.09 meters. So I used Pixie yarns, Bird Street, some of my own hand dyed, Nora George, Lay Family, Olan, Homespun House, Nora George again, Demelza's Delights was some of the fluff that I used, Bird Street, some random pale violet that I don't even know where it came from, and some stranded dye works. So it was literally a mishmash. Try saying that when you've had a few. Of different yarns, and I just held them double. Yeah, I didn't follow the neck properly, and the neck is a little bit tight, like trying to get over me big head. and then it's got an I-cord bottom, and the sleeves, it calls for like 6 inches of sleeve of like cuff, but because I've got little T-Rex arms, I didn't need to do that much, which was quite nice. So yeah, but I'm definitely going to make another one. As I said, I'm going to make the grey one. I'm going to see if I can get a few more greys at Wonderwall and mix them in, and maybe like a really, really dark grey or a black. So I really enjoyed knitting this fella. Even, excuse me, we had salmon for lunch and it was repeating. Smoked salmon. I shouldn't do smoked food because I know it repeats on me. But it tastes nice. Sorry, I've just seen something that I've written over there. I was like, what does that say? Because again, old lady eyes can't see much. The restaurant we went to last night, the lighting was subdued, shall we say. I had to get the bloody torch out on my phone to read the menu. That's when you know you're getting old, isn't it? Got varifocals already. And can't see in the dark. Right. So, my next finished object is... You ready? Are you ready? Dee, 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 dee. How cool is this little chap? This is Nando the Magnificent. So Imagine Landscapes, who creates all of these patterns, brought out, released the second batch of the Grimble Woods collection, which was a Jimmy Beans wool exclusive for 12 months. So so they've now been released and they are so cute. I think next month, once the mystery one's finished, there's a really cool like Viking one. So I think he's going to be next on my... So Nando, I think he's Gandalf inspired. So he's got his little pointy hat. And then his cloak, which has got a bit of sparkle in it. Because, you know, everybody needs a bit of sparkle. He's got his big bulbous nose. And his beard is Surrey alpaca. Held double. Just like an undyed Surrey. And then I went for a walk around the park and found him this really cool twig to use as his staff. But the hand is, you do like an I-cord and then sew it so he's gripping the staff. So yarns, what yarns did I use? This is Wonka, so it's more like a Quality Street purple in the proper light, but like I said, I had to put big light on because it went dark. Sun's come out again now, which is typical. This is a grey variegated mini skein that I got in a swap. I've got no idea who the dyer is. And the same for the purple. I don't know who that was either. It's just a random mini skein in my collection. The nose and the hand is a Sarah's Texture Crafts, who no longer dyes. And the undyed fluff was from the Bird Street Advent last year before, can't remember, but I think no, year before, yeah. I held double because I thought he needed a fluffy beard this time. So that's Nando. He's very cute. I do love my little gnomies. And my third and final finished object was some sacks. Just trying to find the... did I not write the project in my notes? I'm sure I did because I looked at it just now. There they are. So these were cranked on my sock machine, the tube. So the self-striping tube was cranked on the sock machine, and it is a Fab Funky Fibres, and the colourway is Drama Club. So they're really cool, aren't they? They're like really nice. So from this yellow, so from the yellows was a full repeat. So how many stripe? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 12 stripe repeat with this little tealy stripe in between. And then for the contrast, I used a sock share by Coop Knits in the Chryso colourway. So I thought it complemented them quite well. It's not a colour that's in the socks. It's like a light bluey green. Yeah. So they've been finished since the 7th of March. And I haven't worn them yet because I wanted to wait to show you. So they can go in my sock drawer now. Now they've been shown. Where am I going to put them over there? So that's it for FOs. Whippers. Or whippers. So the first one, which has been taking a lot of my time, or what I've worked on most, should I say, not what's taken a lot of my time, is a sample knit for Stevie of the curated Yarn Co. So she dyed some yarn for a sweater. I haven't got a picture of the sweater because the copy of the pattern that I've got didn't have a picture on it yet because it's an early draft. So it's a colourwork sweater, all over colourwork. This is the body. So I've got the body done. It looks quite cool on camera actually. So this is called the Dawn Sweater by Unwind Knitwear. I'm sure that's what she's called. She's called Unwind. Yeah. So Unwind Knitwear. That's what she's called on Instagram. Her name is Rachel Ilsley. So it's the Dawn Sweater. So I've got the body done. I just need to pick up uncast on for the sleeves now, which I've put on barber cord. So it looks really cool, doesn't it? So I'll give you a close up of the colours. So the dark one is called Carbon, and the pink is called Secondhand Rose. And I'll show you the yarns in the skein. And the contrast, so this is like the first ball, so it hardly takes any yarn for the contrast at all. I did have a picture of the sweater. I lied. I'll get it in a second. And then this is the main colour. So this is, I'm only on the second skein of the main colour, and I'm doing the 4th size for Stevie, which is, I think it's a 46 bust. Yeah, so it's looking amazing on camera. So every other, when you're doing a colourwork repeat, every other row is colourwork. So you've got a rest row in between, which gives it that really like pixelated look. So that's really cool. So yeah, so I need to pick up the sleeves. Once, it's weird, isn't it? You do the whole body and then it's like, oh, got to pick up the sleeve stitches now, but most of them are on hold anyway, so I just need to get my bumming gear and get a sleeve back on the needles, and then it'll fly from there. So that's that. The other project that I really worked on was my Radvent cowl. This is a cowl by Amber O'Brien. So it's knit flat, and then you do an I-cord edging which joins these two, so it's like a bandana cowl. It will be. It says to block it before you do the, which I might do actually, because it's going to grow, because it's garter, it'll grow, so I might block that once we finish recording, get that pinned out and blocked. So the yarns I'm doing were kindly gifted to me at Christmas by Sophie. They are both Spectrum fibres. This is the main colour, which is a one of a kind multicolour. Like, you know, it reminds me of those Love Heart sweets. It's all those sort of poppy colours, like really sherbety colours. And then this is the Floof, which is Patisserie Daydream, and it's Surrey alpaca, and it's so soft. It's like a cloud. It's lovely. So I just need to pick up for the edging, but I've lost the pattern. I've got no idea what I did with the pattern. So before I sat down to record this, I printed the pattern out again, but now I am going to block it before I... This is another stitch marker from Rach. So it's a resin one that she put strands of yarn in. You can't really see it, but those pink bits are yarn, and it's got glittery bits in it as well. So yeah, so that needs some love. I'll probably, if I get that blocked today, just wondering if, no, I need to concentrate on that sweater really. But I'll take this to Wonderwall with me to work on when we're at the house in the evenings. And the other thing I did was I cranked some more tubes because I'd run out of tubes. So I've cranked 3 more. So what I do is I crank one, and then I do this waste yarn, so you can see it there. There's like waste yarn in between the tubes. And then carry on cranking. Some of these didn't crank very well. It was my fault. I wasn't concentrating on what I was doing. I've started listening to The Fourth Wing. I know I'm late to the party, but got really into it, and I had it on while I was cranking, and I got really into the listening, and some stitches jumped off the needles. But it was near the end of the skein, so I can just I'll pick up before those and pull it back and re-knit it. So this one's a spark. These are all Fab Funky Fibres. No, they're not. This is a Felt Fusion. This one. These two. This one's like really big blocks of colour. You can see there. They're like really big blocks. And then this one is Rainy Rainbow or something like that one. That one's called. So, I've got 3 more ready to crank. So while this is uploading, I might crank those. And again, take them to I'll get a couple of the needles picked up, ready to go, and take them to Wonderwall. That's it. Knitting wise, I haven't really... Is that all? Is that all on my list? Yeah, sample knit of Dawn sweater. Oh, didn't show you me chicken. So, as I said, on Monday, I started an emotional support chicken. So I have all its bodies done. It's really clever construction. Short rows and stuff. It's all garter, so when you do your wraps and turns, you don't have to pick up the wraps or anything like that. So that's his. So if I fold it in half, you can see what I mean. So this is bum, and then its body. This is its boobies, and then its head. So I've just literally got to do the beak. So that's what I'm aiming to get this done tonight. I think I'll get it finished. So beak, wattle, comb, and then its underside. So this gets sewn in after. Rach did such a good job. She's so clever. So neat at the sewing up. Mine's look like a dog's dinner. Mine will be like the foxes have been at it. Won't it, Marge? Oh. yarns I used. So I'm using leftovers from this sweater. You go there a minute, Marge. I'm using, so this bit was a Pixie Yarns and something else. I haven't got those yarns with me. This stripe here, so these darker stripes, are Current Affairs by Bird Street, and this was when Lay Family did their Patreon, this was a Patreon exclusive yarn. So that's what the darker bits are. And then the lighter bits were Peony Blush from Nora George. And that one is Mrs. Claus Raspberry Prosecco, which is blowing out. It's actually a bit purple, a bit more purple than that. Yeah, from Lay Family Yarn, that one is. So I need to find, I might do like a brown beak on her, I think, and then like a dark purple wattle and comb. But I know I've got a brown on my yarn wall. So in the living room I've got pegboard, and I've got all my little like half cakes and like leftover cakes of yarn. So if you are not interested in the patchwork and quilting portion of this episode, we thoroughly understand. It's not everybody's jam. So Marge and I will say goodbye to those of you who are interested. Thank you for watching. If you are still here, yay, you're in the cool gang. She's so squishy. So there are 2 sew-alongs that quilt-alongs that I've been doing, but they finished months and months and months ago. But I don't know, just fell out of, I think I was new to quilting and some of the blocks were a bit challenging, and then when stuff didn't line up properly because I didn't cut it right or didn't sew it right, I would then get a bit disheartened. So the first sew-along, quilt-along, these were both hosted by Fat Quarter Shop in America. This book came out 2 years ago, I think. Copyright 2022, yeah, 2 years ago now. It's called Scrappiness is Happiness by Laurie Holt, who is a magnificent quilter in the US and does like lots of different fabric lines and stuff. Fat Quarter Shop have a subsidiary called It's So Emma, who do they publish a lot of books, patterns and stuff like that. So it was in conjunction with them. So they came up with a like sampler quilt of like all the blocks that are in here. I've got all the info. I keep all the info in this folder. Let me find the... So this is what they... So you need the book. You don't get the patterns as part of this. You just got this sort of layout and like, you know, what order to put the blocks in and stuff. So you made one of each block from the book. The only exception was the butterfly block, which you made 2 of. Oh, and the mushrooms, you made the big one. And where's the little one? There's the little one. So, yeah. So, I think there's 31 blocks altogether, and I've got a feeling I had like 17 of them done. So My aim for last month was to get 4 done of this one and the other sew along that I'll show you in a minute. Which I did, but it really sparked my enthusiasm again. So I went gung-ho and I've actually finished all of the blocks for this quilt top, and tomorrow I've got fabric arriving for the sashing. So all the backgrounds I've used the same white, but I didn't want to use the white for the sashing because it would be too much white. So I got an email yesterday or the day before, Tuesday evening, from the sewing studio, which is in Redruth, which is not far from us. And they had a sale on some fabrics, and one of the fabrics was like a pink with a white dot on it, like a tiny white dot, like this sort of fabric, but like a pale pink colour. And I thought, oh, that'd be quite nice. So I've ordered enough of that to do the sashing. So the sashing, for those who don't know, is these strips that go between the blocks. Let me show you here. So this is like the first page. So these strips here, which join the blocks together, that's sashing. Actually, you can see it better on this page. So all these strips are what's cream here. So you can see that's what the quilt top is going to look like. So I'm really chuffed with myself that I managed to get all of the blocks done. So the ones that I had to finish off were, I hang them on the, so I bought these like skirt coat hangers, and then when they're done, before I show you, because I've got them all in a box, but I've just hung them up on these skirt coat hangers. These are not in any particular order. So a little sewing machine. Oh dear me, sorry about that. And this is all Laurie Holt fabric. This is the Prairie collection, and then the background is like a white on white swirl. So I didn't want to use that as the sashing as well, so I just think it'd be too much white. And then this is the Tall Pines block. These are the 2 little butterfly blocks that I did. They're really cute. This one, it's all half square triangles, so I used triangles on a roll paper to help get accurate. There's a big thread there. That's annoying. To help get accurate, and then like trying to make sure all the points match up. But I'm getting better at that. This is like they call this a churn dash block. So again, half square triangles, which I used triangle paper for. This one is cute. Like a little tulip flower. Yeah. This one is really sweet. It's a little neighbourhood block. And this one, again, these are half square triangles, so I used triangle paper. This is a 64 block, but can't count. So it should have been 8 by 8. When I finished the block, I thought that don't look right. I only did 7 by 7, so I had to add on another row along the side and then another row along the bottom. Yeah. But I've got a Sizzix die cutting machine that I use to cut English paper piecing papers for, that I sell on my Etsy shop. And I've got a 2.5 inch. So these are all 2.5 inch squares. So I've got a cutter for the scissors that does 2.5-inch squares. So that saved me a lot of cutting. So I just went through and I cut out. So I can't remember how many fat quarters were in this, but I cut 2 of each. And I didn't use them all, so I've got spares left. And then this one is one of my favourite blocks. This is the flower basket block, which is really sweet. So that's all my Scrappiness is Happiness blocks are finished. I have shown the others in previous videos. And then once the quilt top is done, I will then show it again when it's all together. And then, so the other quilt along I've been doing is, it's called Socialites 2 actually, sorry. Again, hosted by Fat Quarter Shop, and all these patterns are free on their website. So it was the Socialites 2 quilt along, and this is samples of all the blocks, and I've got 15 done, so I'm up to here. This was number 15, which looked really complicated in the picture. It's so simple to sew. So this one I've got all cut out, and it uses, so the middle is square and a square, so I've got square and a square foundation paper, and then a lot of these are half square triangles and flying geese, which again I use foundation paper for. So I'm doing, so there's 3 sizes on each of the patterns. You can do 3-inch finished, that's tiny, 6-inch finished, or 9-inch finished. So I'm doing the 9-inch because when this started, I was a fairly new quilter. So I thought 9-inch would be easier. So this is one of the blocks. So again, I set myself to do 4 blocks in March. And then in April I wanted to get all the Scrappiness ones finished, so that's what I did. And then I'm going to now aim to get all of these finished. So again, these are square and a square paper. So that's that one. And the fabric collection I'm using here is, oh balls, it's a Layla Boutique. Hang on, let me get my little quilting notebook. It's a Moda collection. Country Rose by Camille Ross Kelly, who is Layla Boutique. Yeah. So I started these in October of 2022. So they may be finished fairly soon, hopefully. Yeah. There's that one. I thought the black was quite nice in this one. It's sort of like, and then that one there. Again, half square triangles, and then this was like strip, so they call it strip piecing. So you cut long bits, sew them together, and then cut them down into these sizes. And that's it for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so the 4 I got done last month, and then I concentrated on the words. So I concentrated on the Scrappiness, getting those finished, and then working on getting the Socialites blocks finished. And then I'll think about, I don't know what colour sashing to do for those. because again I've used the same background, white swirly background, the white on white for those, so I don't want to use the sashing the same. I might look for something this sort of colour. I thought that would be quite nice. Yeah, so we're there, we're getting there. So I've got 15 out of 24 done. Yeah, so hopefully they're not going to be done this month, but because I want to try and get this sash together, because I belong to a quilting group here in Tavi, and in a couple of months' time we're talking about like layering your quilt. So I'm hoping I can get the backing fabric and the batting, and then layer it at get help at Quilt Group to layer it properly. I bought another couple of books for quilting. So this is called Simply Jelly Rolls. Again, this is a It's So Emma publication. Because I've got a couple of jelly rolls, and I've got some, the sewing studio that I mentioned earlier, they do like when they cut fabric, so it's like the ends. So they call them scrap bags, but they're all like 2.5 inch strips generally. I quite like this quilt. So a jelly roll is 2.5 inch strips generally. So yeah, and then the other one I bought was another Laurie Holt book called Quilty Fun, and I've got a feeling Fat Quarter Shop are doing a quilt along for this as well, like what they call a row by row quilt. So this is a row by row quilt. Yeah, so I might do that once these two are finished. I might start on that because we've got our quilt exhibition in September, so I need something to put into the quilt exhibition. That's halfway decent. So I think that is it. Oh, I've got 5 minutes before I get cut off, so I will do my goodbye. So thank you ever so much for watching. If you made it to the end, it was a bit all over the shop, this one, but I've got something up and recorded, and hopefully it will be out later this evening, if not tomorrow. Thank you for watching. If you're going to Wonderwall, look out for me. I will probably be wearing this, so you probably won't be able to miss me in a crowd anyway. Yeah, that's it. Thank you ever so much. Take care. Happy knitting, and I'll see you soon. Bye.